All right, welcome everybody. I've done one of these before. Figured I'd do it again, but we are back with another One D&D video or set of videos, I guess. Talking about the new One D&D playtesting material that came out recently. Pretty much, this is a series where I'm going to do first reactions to this because I'm really interested in what they're going to do with One D&D, and that's really the only reason I'm doing this. I just want to make videos on One D&D because I'm interested where they're going with this. So, if you guys haven't seen it yet, the previous One D&D series that I made was the ones about the expert classes. I never made one about the starting One D&D because that one was outdated at that point, and I wasn't really a big fan of that one, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so this one is apparently about the Cleric and revised species, and they've renamed it to species for some weird fucking reasons. I thought we were going to go with ancestries. I don't know why. Also, I have coffee because I am not awake. All right, so let's get into this. The Cleric and Revised Species. The document is the third in a series of Unearthed Arcana articles that present material designed for the next version of the player's handbook. Yay. Material here uses the rules in the 2014, sure, except where noted. So pretty much we're changing up the player's handbook. I mean, let's be honest, they're going to make a new handbook for this. Inside, you'll find the following context. Context? Yes, the following context. That is exactly what I meant to say. Cleric class. The Cleric class is available for playtesting, along with one subclass, the live domain, so that's similar to what they did with the expert classes. For the expert classes, I don't remember. What did they do? What did they do for expert classes again? Or not? That's not what I meant. There were 4 different types, right? There was the expert, priest, warrior, and mage, arcane, probably. Yeah. All right. Revised species. So we're getting 3 revised species: the Ardling, the Dragonborn, and the Goliath. Let's hope they didn't fuck up Dragonborn this time. And in this document, any term in the body text that is underlined appears in the glossary at the end. Glossary defines game terms that have been clarified. So possibly some new shit in the glossary. Material here is experimental in draft form. Isn't officially part of the game. Sure. I actually completely forgot to make feedback because I didn't remember what I wanted to say for my feedback. I should probably do that this time. How to playtest. We invite you to try out this material and play. When you do so, you're welcome to combine this article with yeah, okay. So you're able to. Is that August and September? Or December? It's been 3 months. What the hell? Combine this article with character origins and expert classes. If you do combine this article, use only the rules glossary found here. So I think that means that if a entry is not in this glossary, it is meant to not be used anymore. So the previous glossaries don't matter, but just, you know, the actual text matters. So actually, what I'm going to do, I hope I still have it. Actually, I have it here. I can get it. I'm actually going to download the expert classes one again so that I can compare, because I am intrigued. I'm also actually going to open my player's handbook because I remember that I needed that last time. There you go. Whoops. Cut this out because fuck you. There you go. All right. There you go. So this should do some fun stuff. All right. So with that in mind, to play with this material, incorporate, yeah, sure, you can use it in the thingies. Power level might be more or less powerful than options in the, yeah, that makes sense. So your power level is going to be different. And then how do you give feedback? So what do we have? Revised versions of every class, 48 subclasses, new and revised spells, new and revised fees, new weapon options, new system for creating a home base. Huh. Are we not going to be able to use Kingdoms of Warfare anymore? Revised encounter building rules. Thank God. New and revised monsters. I wonder if they're still going to keep like the fact that monsters can't crit. Because I don't like that. Each class contains the rules elements described below. Must have levels in the class. Characters who have levels in a class are exceptional. Most of the inhabitants of the multiverse aren't members of a class. Primary ability. Oh yeah, here you have them. Yeah, so it's priest. Good to know. Primary ability. This is just the fact that you need to have the primary ability for each class. I guess class group. Each class is a member of a class group, a set of classes. Yeah, we know this. And they're mentioning that the artificer is still one. Nothing really changed here, I would assume. Class group has no rules in of itself, but prerequisites and other rules can refer to these groups. So you might need to be a member of the mage group. You might need to be a member of the warrior group. This is all stuff that we know from the previous ones, pretty much. But in case you are unaware, pretty much they're going to divide the 12 classes and the artificer into experts, mages, priests, and warriors. And sometimes you'll have a feat that pretty much has prerequisites. You need to be a part of the expert group, and then you can only take that feat if you're a bard, a ranger, or a rogue. That's literally what that's for. They're also giving similar abilities to each of these classes. So I think all three of these classes in some way had the expertise feature. So they gave ranger expertise. Oh, sorry. Anyway. Okay, so our class group, already read this. When creating party of adventurers, one way to form a well-rounded group is to include at least one member of each class group. I mean, I've mentioned this before. I don't care what party you run. I legitimately don't care. I also want, like, this is also a thing. Like, when we homebrew classes, we're actually going to have to look at, like, what class group they fit in, right? I don't know. Then again, there was a rumor that we weren't going to be able to make homebrew content for this. At which point I'm probably sticking to 5e, but hey. Creating a member of the class. How to create a member. Section tells you to determine hit points. So yeah, this is just standard. And each class grants features, and then you also have a subclass. I am curious now, because this is actually a funny one, right? Because Cleric gets their subclass at level 1. Druid gets their subclass at level 2. Paladin gets their subclass at level 3. In Experts, to be fair, all three of them standard had their subclass at level 3. So I'm curious now if they're going to keep this. If they're going to keep the 1, 2, 3 here, or if they're going to switch it up to also, you know, set them at the same level. Because you have the same thing here, right? Like Sorcerer and Warlock get their subclass at 1. And then Wizard gets it at 2. So, I don't know. Gonna be interesting. A class's description is followed by a section dedicated to subclasses for that class. So pretty much this is just an idea of how you can get a subclass, right? When playtesting the new version, you use a subclass from... So you can use the older subclasses of what they're saying, which probably means that they're sticking to the same levels as last time, right? Wait, no, that's not true. Because they changed... I think they changed the levels for the expert ones, right? If I recall correctly. Because you had 3, 6, 10, 14, and then for Ranger... You had 3, 6, 10, 14. So they did change the later levels. But technically, you had the same amount of abilities, I think. Wait, no, Bard never got a level 10. It's funky. Anyway. Go back to this. Alright. Find an older subclass that doesn't work with the features. If we publish a new version of the class, we'll resolve that discrepancy. Okay. All classes have new features, as well as revised versions of old. When a class offers a decision, a suggested choice is usually presented. Yep. And their level 20 has been gone to 18, so that 20 now gets epic boons, which is kind of cool.